Which gimmick should The Undertaker return as for WrestleMania? What were our top 5 Mania matches we are looking forward to? Who will win at WrestleMania 34? All this and more next on the Power of Pro Wrestling podcast. Welcome to the show. This is your host, Robert Red.
And the Godfather.
And if you like this podcast, subscribe to us for free by searching The Power of Pro Wrestling on iTunes, the iOS podcast app, or Play Music. You can also check us out online on Shout Engine and Stitcher. Also, share this podcast with your friends and family on social media to spread the word that you are part of the Power of Pro Wrestling family. So, glad to have you back on the show, Godfather. You excited for WrestleMania?
Oh, yeah. You know it, Red Man. WrestleMania is my favorite time of the year. This is my Super Bowl of Super Bowls.
Yeah, it is. It's the Super Bowl for professional wrestling fans, casual fans alike. This is the moment of the year that we all get excited about and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
surprises, Hulk Hogan coming back.
Ooh,
up about it.
That's bold prediction there. So that's good. So I mean, before we get into the topics, because we have a very loaded show, we're going to be talking The Undertaker at WrestleMania 34 and what gimmick should he return? Is he going to be Biker Taker? Are we going to get the Dead Man again? What are we going to get this year? Also, our top 5, but we're going to put a spin on it for WrestleMania edition. It's going to be our top 5 matches we're looking forward to. And then we're going to kind of give our SmackDown predictions. And you're going to kind of give your predictions on maybe one or two few Raw matches outside of that. So I'm looking forward to that. We'll do more Raw matches on the next episode of the podcast. So stay tuned for that. But Godfather, like you said, you're excited for Mania. I am too. I'm looking forward to watching it. So before we get into everything, what match are you really looking forward to the most and kind of why?
Wow, that's a tough one. Braun Strowman's mystery partner.
Okay.
Against the Bar.
Okay. I actually debated this on my last episode, so let's tie this in. I mean, who do you think it's going to be? Do you think it's going to be an Elias, or who do you think they pull out? Because I've heard a lot of rumors.
Right here, you got to go big or go home. I mean, because he's made it clear he has to pick a partner. He's made it clear he's not going to tell you till WrestleMania. You can't bring out some chump from NXT. You can't bring out Elias that has been feuding with. You're going to have to go big on this situation right here, or don't bring anybody out at all. But since they told us he has somebody, you got to go big right here. You got to bring out somebody that's just going to pump the crowd up, you know what I'm saying, and get them into a frenzy.
Okay, so I mean, do you think maybe we see a Big Show or something?
It could be. I think it could be the Big Show. It could be Rey Mysterio.
Okay.
Couldn't be Hulk Hogan.
Wow, Hulk Hogan and Braun Strowman. That'd be a tag team.
I'm telling you right now that Hulk Hogan's coming back at WrestleMania, and I see Braun Strowman's a fan favorite. What other way to make him look even better if you bring back the Hulkster as a surprise partner?
Okay, that'll be pretty interesting. So let's get into our debate topic in The Undertaker. Now, for several weeks and actually months, John Cena has actually been calling out The Undertaker for a match at WrestleMania 34. Now, when we saw The Undertaker at WrestleMania last year, he was fighting Roman Reigns in the main event and lost, and subsequently after the match, he laid down his hat and like his jacket and stuff, so we thought maybe The Undertaker was done. Well, it's been strongly rumored that The Undertaker is going to have a match with John Cena this year at Mania, so we're going to be debating what gimmick should he return as. So for this debate, Godfather, you're going to have 2 minutes to present what gimmick The Undertaker should return as. I'll have 2 minutes to present my side of the debate, and you guys, the audience, the listeners, will be able at the end of this episode to go and vote and let us know who you think won the argument. So, Godfather, you want to start us off with who you think The Undertaker should return as, or what gimmick?
I think The Undertaker's going to return as the American Badass Biker Undertaker. And here's the reason. For one, Kid Rock's going in the Hall of Fame. We all know this, but he sang the theme song, so it's just perfect to have a live concert for it. Number 2 is I can envision the exit after he beats John Cena, being on the ramp on the motorcycle, and he puts his arm up and he rides off, and that's the last time you see him. He takes the last ride. The other part is when he was on the 25th anniversary of Raw, he talked about all the souls that he had captured through his career. They now can rest in peace. Almost insinuating like the dead man character is going away. Oh, you're rest in peace. You're free from me because this character is gone. And he comes back as himself for one final match, because that's pretty much what Mike Undertaker was himself. And then he goes and vanishes because he's going to beat John Cena. He's going to be Mike Undertaker when he does it. The crowd's going to go crazy. You're not going to see him till the end. And then he's going to leave.
Okay, good side of the argument. But I disagree. I think The Undertaker should return as the dead man gimmick. Now, granted, what happened at WrestleMania 33, like I mentioned, you had The Undertaker kind of lay down his hat and his coat and just everything and leave out the ring. Debate me and Cornbread Chris Heineken had, we've discussed this off air, he didn't lay down his boot, so he's not done yet. And the money in the Undertaker character or gimmick is in the dead man. It's not in the ABA, the biker Taker. Yeah, I know Taker enjoyed that gimmick a lot more because it was himself and he didn't have to do all the glitz and the glamour and all the hoopla around the character of having the lightning and being the dead man. But it's the dead man character that he debuted as and has been all of these years that is the money drawer here. So when you're talking WrestleMania, it's about the box office and success. And the biker Taker, while it is a good gimmick, and I do think that he will return as that, I don't think he should, for the simple fact of the money, the box office money is in the dead man Undertaker facing John Cena, because we've not really seen Undertaker and John Cena fight on the big stage.
Yeah, but the dead man Undertaker has now been beaten twice at WrestleMania. If you're going to come back like this after taking that last loss, you got to come up with something completely. You can't bring back that same dead man. He keeps getting beat at WrestleMania now because he's not invincible anymore.
And I do agree. So, I mean, maybe there's a new version of the dead man character like we saw. Because when Undertaker, when he does go away, he does come back with some new version of characters like we saw all 2003 was the biker Taker, and then he came back as the dead man, and then when he left from the ministry, he came back and came as the Taker. So I do agree that he does need to do a new gimmick, but maybe a new version of the dead man, because even at Raw 25 we still kind of saw that dead man character in the dead man gimmick. So that's why I'm saying he should come back as the dead man Undertaker. And like I said, it's for the simple fact of the box office of the Undertaker is and the dead man character facing John Cena. Now, granted, John Cena kind of teasing and like on Instagram and on social media, he's kind of like did past gimmicks of Mark Calloway, and would be interesting since we're in sort of a meta era in wrestling to see a Undertaker as the biker Taker, more a realistic character versus just an over-the-top character, would be exciting. It's just, once again, to reinforce, to beat the horse to death here, box office. That's what WrestleMania is. We discussed this at the top of the segment. It's the Super Bowl. It's about box office, and the box office is in the dead man character. It's not really in the biker gimmick. But that's all the time we have for this segment of the show. Tell us who you think won the debate. Do you think Godfather and the Undertaker should be the gimmick Undertaker return as, or do you think it's me that the Undertaker should return as his dead man and character? But don't go anywhere, guys. Our top 5 moments are coming up next. Attention all pro wrestling fans. You now can show your support for the podcast that is by wrestling fans for wrestling fans. The Power of Pro Wrestling podcast on Patreon. On Patreon, you will get early access to the podcast, along with access to articles and other great content. You can show your support today on the podcast on Patreon by going to patreon.com/PPWP. Hello, everyone. This is Robert Redd.
I'm Chris Heineken.
And our show can be heard on Stitcher. Stitcher is radio on demand.
Download the free app today.
You can listen anytime and anywhere.
Stitcher is an award-winning free app that lets you listen to all your favorite shows. Plus, discover For up to 20,000 news, entertainment, and sports shows.
You can even create custom playlists.
Over 20,000 shows to discover.
You can rate and review the show on Stitcher.
Also available on iOS, Android, Nook, and iPad.
And along with that is in 4 million car dashboards.
And it's on demand and on the go.
No downloading, no syncing, and no wasted memory.
Stream your favorite podcast.
Well, if you don't have Stitcher, you can download it free today at Stitcher.com or in your app store.
This is Wes Henry, and you're listening to the Power of Pro Wrestling podcast.
Welcome back to the show. Brace yourselves. It's now time for our top 5. With WrestleMania just being days away, we'll be counting down our top 5 Mania matches. So normally we rank our top 5 matches from 5 to 1, Godfather, but since this is WrestleMania, I'm going to do something a little bit different. We've got about 13 or 14 matches that are going to be for WrestleMania. So we're going to list just 5 matches, no particular order that you're looking forward to. So I'm going to start it with you, Godfather. What's one of the matches you're most looking forward to at WrestleMania?
Despite the fact I feel like I know the outcome, the Asuka-Charlotte match, because Charlotte is the best female there is on the roster, and Asuka's getting up to her level, you know, on the main roster. I feel like that this is a perfect collision. This is a perfect match. These are perfect opponents for each other for WrestleMania stage.
Okay. I'm in agreement with you. That obviously is something I'm going to be looking forward to as well, the whole Charlotte and Asuka thing. We're actually going to somewhat get a preview tonight because the Mixed Match Challenge, the finals are tonight, and we're getting Asuka with The Miz against Charlotte and Bobby Roode. So we're going to kind of see maybe a preview of that match this Sunday. I felt that was a little strange that they were going to do a Mania match like that. I mean, it is Mixed Match Challenge, so it's a mixed tag, so it's not exactly the same, but it should be a very interesting match just to see if they're going to let Charlotte break Asuka's streak or if they're going to let Asuka win the title. Now, more than likely, I agree, Asuka is going to win the title, but we'll wait and see. So I'm going to put that as probably one of my matches I'm looking forward to as well, more on the lower end of the totem pole. Okay, Godfather, let's move on. What is the next match you're looking forward to at Mania?
Braun Strowman and his mystery partner against the Bar.
Okay, awesome. Why are you looking forward to that match? Is it just the mystery, the intrigue of who his tag partner is?
Who are you going to team with Braun Strowman, who's pretty much been this just solo juggernaut on his own? And now, I mean, I like it, the fact that he's got a match against. I kind of hope he wins the tag titles, to be honest with you. I think it'd be a little spicing it up because I'm kind of tired of the Bar having the belts. But just the fact that you're making him get a partner. So I'm wondering, did he choose the partner or did the partner choose him?
Yeah, and it is the intrigue that I think does make this match interesting. And so, I mean, do you think Braun should go at it alone and it be a 2-on-1 match and let him win the tag titles alone? Because that would help establish Braun as a singles guy.
Yeah, see, I was all for that until he told me he had to have a partner. So now you have to give him a partner. He can't just come out and do it by himself. If he was going to do it by himself, he should have never mentioned the fact that he had to have a partner. So now you got to give him somebody big to make this match feel as big as you're making it out to be to me.
Okay.
You can't bring James Ellsworth back as a big surprise to be his partner. A little you know, you get my point. What I'm saying, you can't really don't fumble this ball right here. Give him somebody good to go with his name to, you know, get over with him.
Okay,
that's my point.
Yeah, and I get that. I like the match. I mean, if he did go at it alone, I think you're basically saying your tag division is crap and one guy can beat two. To me, if you're going to have a tag team title match, the numbers have to matter. It's because there's the old expression, there's strength in numbers.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you let Braun Strowman beat two guys, you're basically almost spitting on your tag division. But I do agree they do need to change it up with the Bar being the tag champions, because they've been tag champions quite often, and you've really not got any other team be tag champions long enough. So I mean, they do need to mix it up. So yeah, that is a good match to look forward to. One match I'm looking forward to, since we're still on two, my boy Daniel Bryan, him coming back to the ring. So I'm not necessarily hyped about the match, but I mean, I'm still looking forward to it. Him and Shane McMahon, because apparently Shane's supposed to be cleared to compete come Mania. I'm still kind of doubtful on that, but him and Shane versus Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, I think could be a good match. I mean, look at just last year, we were thinking AJ Styles and Shane was going to be a horrible match, and that was probably one of the better matches last
true.
year.
It really
so
was.
It is very shocking and surprising. And so, I mean, we could have another barn burner here with Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan against Owens and Zayn, because Owens and Zayn are good competitors to work and stuff. So I'm definitely looking forward to that match. So that's probably one of my matches I'm looking most forward to. That would probably rank higher.
My top 5. That is in my top 5 too. I'm curious to see how Daniel Bryan does getting back in the ring.
Yeah,
you know, being absent this whole time. It's got a feel to it. It's got the right amount of feel. They've been building this, storyline up for some months now, and it's finally getting the payoff with him getting back in the ring. I feel like that's the fitting way, at WrestleMania. I'm curious to see how the match turns out.
Yeah.
Because if these guys lose, they're fired. And I know people say, well, they'll fire and pick them up on Raw. That's not really the point. That doesn't really work for me as a payout, It ain't all they're fired from WWE, but somehow Raw was able to sign them. I'm not buying with that.
Well, they were fired from SmackDown, so, I mean, theoretically, yeah, they could go for Raw.
Theoretically, the only way this match finishes for me is Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn winning, despite it's Daniel Bryan's return match.
Yeah.
It's not his return singles match. Maybe he's the factor in it. Maybe he calls it. Maybe him and Shane get into it. Whatever the case is, But I feel like that's the only payout for this match is Daniel Bryan losing.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you could have Shane take the pinfall and it's not hurt from Daniel Bryan because he's not the one taking the pin.
Exactly, but there's no way that they can win this match to me. I'm sorry. That's just me from a fan looking at it from a story perspective.
Yeah.
These guys have to win and keep their job at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and I mean, if they did lose, it would be that they are trying to do a superstar shakeup, and that's their way to shake up the superstars and send Sammy and Kevin back to Raw. But to me, it's been too soon. You don't need to send them back to Raw.
Right? They just got on. They just really starting to become entertaining here. Like you got them fired. They need to finally get their come ups on the boss. And then shake something up after WrestleMania with authority on SmackDown. But these guys have got to win.
Yeah, I agree. They do need to stay on because, I mean, if you're going to have somebody else get traded,
two top heels right now. You can't just fire them and send them to Raw to replace them with who?
Yeah, who would you really replace them with?
Right.
So, yeah, good idea. So, I'll
say my 4th match would have to be AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. And it's not because of Nakamura, because I'm not a fan of Nakamura's. It's because of AJ Styles. I'm happy to see him getting a WWE Championship match at WrestleMania. His 3rd year in, and he's got the title on his waist going into WrestleMania. That's very impressive to me. I've been a fan of AJ Styles for many, many years before he ever came to WWE.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy to see him getting his singles championship match at WrestleMania.
Okay, yeah. I'm excited as that match as well. The problem with Japanese stars coming to WWE and why they don't get over is because it's almost a xenophobia, fear of the outsiders or aliens, but it's also for the simple fact of the language barrier is so different. You have a Japanese star who has to speak English, and yeah, he's great in ring, but WWE is more about promos and talking people into buildings, and just with Nakamura's mannerisms and the way he does stuff, I don't know if it gets over with a casual audience. To someone like me who's a very much a hardcore fan and a mark, I love Nakamura regardless of his kind of weird quirks, so that is why I'm looking forward to this match, because it is so much of a dream match. I mean, if I have to sit through Reigns and Brock, then at least give me Nakamura and Styles, because I know, granted, the build and like all the promos may be terrible, the match is what's important to me.
Shinsuke Nakamura does not have mainstream draw to him. He has got an indie feel to him, and I'm sorry, but that's the truth. He does not have a mainstream popular feel to him. Even if you give him the belt, it doesn't matter who you're putting him up against, you're eventually going to take it off because he's not going to draw money. That's just the reality of it. You should have brought him in with the manager from the get-go. That's what you do with foreign superstars that are really great in the ring. You bring him in with a mouthpiece. He should have had a mouthpiece at NXT starting himself out. When he came to the main roster, he would have exploded with that mouthpiece, and he got over a lot quicker. He's still not over to me right now. I'm still not buying him as a contender for the title. I don't care if he won the World Rumble. That don't mean anything to me. I'm still not buying him as a contender for Hulk Hogan's belt. Okay. I'm sorry. It's the way I look at it.
That's fair enough. Okay. What's the next match you're looking forward to?
The one I'm looking forward to the most is my boy Roman Reigns taking on Brock Lesnar. I've been riding Roman Reigns since the Shield days. Okay, he's finally getting. I'm ready for him to get that red belt. I'm hoping it's a heel turn with Paul Heyman. I'm not going to lie to you. As much as I like Roman Reigns, I like everything about him. I don't care if he's face or heel, you know. I'm still going to go with him. I hope he does the heel turn because I have a really good feeling the place will go nuts and they will get that cheer, feel-good moment at the end of it by Roman Reigns turning heel.
Yeah. With that, do you think that would have the same shock factor that we got at Mania 17 in the Houston Astrodome with Stone Cold aligning himself with his arch nemesis, Vince McMahon? Do you think we'll still get that same sort of shock value if he does align with the Paul Heyman?
Yes, because nobody's really seeing that. You've always associated Paul Heyman with Brock Lesnar. You know, Brock Lesnar is going away, and we all know this. It's time to do something different with him. Even if you keep him on, it's still time to do something different. His shtick is kind of gotten old with him being this bully big guy and you got to fight him or whatever. Roman Reigns beats him, you need to take Paul Heyman away from him. So if you do bring him back later, he's a little fresher to me and he's a little newer to me. He can hold his own on the mic. He did for years without Paul Heyman.
Yeah, he did. And I mean, I think a lot of people forgot about that, like in Brock's earlier career.
Yeah.
He talked a lot.
Yeah, a lot. So just take Paul Heyman away from him and freshen him up for me a little bit, and I'll kind of go with it, you know? Because even if Bobby Lashley comes in or don't come in, I'm not excited to see Brock Lesnar immediately after his loss at WrestleMania. Do the right thing and go away. Triple H did, Goldberg did, all of them do. You get beat, go away for a while. Don't come right back the next month and have a match with somebody else.
Yeah.
Stay away. And the last match I'm looking forward to is whatever match The Rock's going to end up being in.
Okay, cool. So you think we're going to see a Rock match at WrestleMania?
I think The Rock's going to have more of an involvement than coming out and doing some sing-along contest or whatever. I think he surprised us the last time he got in the ring with his gear. I think you're going to get something good out of him. He's going to be in some kind of altercation or a fight with somebody. I think he's getting ready to make another comeback and have at least one more match.
Okay. So do you think that altercation would be with? Do you think maybe in Elias to give Elias a rub? Or do you think
I could see that because right now he don't really have a match and it could be a sing-along or, or whatever. You know what I'm saying, where he comes out and sings, and The Rock used to do that whole thing too,
Yeah.
Or it could be with somebody big. We never know.
Yeah,
you never know.
True.
It could be a surprise guy come out.
Yeah.
Never know.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. Another match I'm looking forward to, definitely. I want to see what happens with Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle versus The Authority. I like that Ronda is a UFC person that likes wrestling because a lot of times UFC talent always looks down on pro wrestling. So it's good to see a MMA star that does have respect for professional wrestling. And I know Ronda's going to win, Ronda and Kurt. There's no doubt about it. But just to see how Ronda does in her first match in WWE is really, to me, it's very intriguing. So, I mean, that's something I'm definitely looking forward to. I mean, along with the Styles Nakamura, Daniel Bryan match, just a lot of the other matches on the card I'm looking forward to. But that's all the time we have for this segment, but don't go anywhere. It's time for our final commercial break. Stay tuned. Our rapid fire is coming up next. Attention all pro wrestling fans. You now can show your support for the podcast that is by wrestling fans, for wrestling fans. The Power of Pro Wrestling podcast on Patreon. On Patreon, you will get early access to the podcast, along with access to articles and other great content. You can show your support today on the podcast on Patreon by going to patreon.com/PPWP. Hello, everyone. This is Robert Red.
I'm Chris Honigan.
And our show can be heard on Stitcher. Stitcher is radio on demand.
Download the free app today.
You can listen anytime and anywhere.
Stitcher is an award-winning free app that lets you listen to all your favorite shows, plus discover from 20,000 news, entertainment, and sports shows.
You can even create custom playlists.
Over 20,000 shows to discover.
You can rate and review the show on Stitcher.
Also available on iOS, Android, Nook, and iPad.
And along with that, it is in 4 million car dashboards.
And it's on demand and on the go.
No downloading, no syncing, and no wasted memory.
Stream your favorite podcast.
Well, if you don't have Stitcher, you can download it free today at Stitcher.com or in your app store.
This is Amber.
And this is Amanda. And you're listening to the Power of Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome back to the show. It's now time for the fastest segment of the show, Rapid Fire. For this edition of Rapid Fire, we'll be giving our predictions for WrestleMania 34. So let's start with, since I've got the roundtable coming up along with this episode. We are going to take the SmackDown side of it and do our predictions on SmackDown. And you're going to do at the end kind of like some brief Raw ones that you're interested in, just kind of short and simple to the point. But let's get started. The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Since this is cross-branded, I have taken this one. And the roundtable, we're going to talk about the women's one. So who do you think's going to win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal from maybe the announced names or maybe a surprise name?
I think it's going to be a surprise name. I think it could be Mark Henry or Goldberg.
Okay.
And I think it's going to be somebody big with some name value because of the fact they're doing this biography on Andre the Giant on HBO.
Yeah, the doc.
And yes, and if they bring in a big name to win that, that's going to get a lot more publicity than if just an average roster guy wins it.
So you think it's going to, this year's Andre the Giant, it's going to mean more than what it has in past years?
Yes, because of the fact that this documentary is coming up, they're going to put a lot of emphasis on it. They're going to bring out a surprise big name Hall of Fame guy or somebody to win this thing because it's going to get it that pop and that bling and that name recognition they need.
Okay. I'm in agreement. I'm just trying to think. I don't know. Like if Goldberg shows up, then yeah, I'm going to say Goldberg. Trying to think of maybe any other names of the announced names.
Because they're putting him in the Hall of Fame this year. He's already going to be around.
Yeah. So I mean, he'll be there, but I don't know if they've traditionally let Hall of Famers compete at WrestleMania when they were going into the Hall of Fame that year. I mean, I think Ric Flair is really the only. Yeah. So I can't really think of anything else. Okay. So it'd be hard to pick who it is, but I mean, if there is a Goldberg or a Mark Henry, if there is a Hall of Famer coming out, it could very well be them winning it. Because, like you said, WWE I think wants to make this mean something because of the Andre documentary that's coming out. Okay, let's move on to my favorite match. I'm looking forward to Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. We kind of talked about this last segment, so
but I think Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are going to win this match. They have to. They have to get their jobs back. Now I don't really know how the finish is going to be. I think it's going to be a little swervy. It's going to be a little controversial, with his return. But unfortunately, I'm sorry to the Daniel Bryan fans out there. He's got to take the loss here. They've got to win to secure their jobs back at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and I mean, I really think Kevin and Sami do need to win unless WWE wants to do a shake-up, and this is the way to send them back to Raw like we talked last segment. They don't need to do that. Sami and Kevin need to stay on SmackDown for a little while longer until at least next year.
They can always be traded later because they're so tired of them, and just get nobody for them. They can always do that later, but they got to win right here and get their jobs back.
Yeah, so I mean that's the way I think they need to do it. And I mean, ain't it? Especially if they beat Daniel Bryan and let Daniel Bryan take a pin, that would be a great way for them to get heat and really elevate them as heels. Especially with Daniel Bryan coming back.
Yeah,
then that would be a great thing. Although I think Shane is probably more realistically going to be the one who takes the pin. But I mean, if they did beat Daniel Bryan, that would be a great. And from a business standpoint, yeah, I love Daniel Bryan, but beating him right now, that would get you a lot of heat. That would be almost like Undertaker's streak being broken.
Yes.
So, okay, let's move on to, how about the tag titles on the SmackDown side? The Usos, the New Day, and the Bludgeon Brothers. Who you got on this one?
Man, I'm going to have to go out here, and I'm going to have to say the Bludgeon Brothers. I don't think they're putting this match for no reason. I think this is one of the occasions where the titles are going to change hands. The New Day winning the belts, to me, makes no sense here at all. If the Usos don't, it's got to go to the Bludgeon Brothers. You got to put these guys over, and you got to make SmackDown more teams than just two.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
They're looking very weak. It look like they're the only two guys that can ever have in a match for the tag belts. Bludgeon Brothers got to go over here, make them legit, and at least gives them some new feuds to fight with.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, and this would really be their first tag team titles on the main roster for the Bludgeon Brothers. So, I mean, it would really help to establish.
They're putting a lot into these guys right now.
Yeah,
they are. They put them in this match for a reason.
Yeah, they're in the match. They've been repackaged.
They're in the match for a reason. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Come on, you got to see the writing on the wall sometimes.
Yeah, so I mean, they could very well keep the belts on the Usos, but I don't know if that would be a good choice or not. So, I mean, I am leaning, I think, more towards the Bludgeon Brothers on this one. So, maybe that's my pick for this match. Okay, let's go to the next match, and it is, how about we talk the women's title match, Charlotte Flair and Asuka. We've kind of briefly touched on this one at the top of the last
I think this
segment.
match has the potential to steal the show. because of the fact that I think that these are perfect opponents for each other. I mean, I think they're perfect. I think Charlotte has everything that she needs, that Asuka needs in an opponent to really bring the best out in her. And I think the same way with Asuka. She can really go the limit with Charlotte. It's going to put them both on the map. Asuka's going to win the belt.
Okay, yeah. I definitely, Asuka, I don't think her streak's going to be broken on this.
No.
I definitely think Asuka's going to win this. And I think Charlotte is looking forward to this match because she wants a challenge and to bring out the best in her. Because it's always when you have someone who's better than you, it always seems to make you up your game and be a better competitor. So I think this is going to be a good, interesting match. So I definitely could see this being very good. But Asuka, hands down, has got this one. Okay, now we're getting to the mid-card belt, the U.S. title, and it is a fatal four-way as of last week between Randy Orton, Bobby Roode, Jinder Mahal, and Rusev. So who do you got on this one, Godfather?
Rusev Day, man.
You're saying it's Rusev Day?
Rusev Day. This is what the crowd wants. It's about making the crowd happy. He is over right now. They're going to give Rusev Day the belt, and it's going to be a happy Rusev Day.
Okay. So are we recording this podcast on Rusev Day?
Today, every day is Rusev Day.
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
Of course.
But I think he's going to win the belt here. I think that he's getting over and they notice it, and so I think they're starting to try to put more back into him and push him up a little bit. I think he's going to be world champion by the end of this year.
Okay. Maybe win the WWE title.
Mm-hmm.
I could definitely see that, especially because like WWE, the way they like to push people, it's not necessarily all about crowd reaction, because if it was, Roman Reigns would have been turned heel a long time ago. Cena would have too. It's about merchandise and making the company money. And Rusev, really, what's been reported, the reason he got added to this match was they were doing Rusev Day calendars, and WWE ordered such a low amount, like 2,500, sold out quickly, that they had to order 5,000 more. So that alone should tell you that Rusev is
over with this, and I think they put the belt on him, and that really makes that money.
Yeah, so I mean, I won't be opposed to a Rusev winning the U.S. title, although Randy Orton just won it at Fastlane.
That's just to give him the title that he hasn't had yet.
And I mean, they do have a precedent, because like we saw with Roman Reigns, he held the IC title for a cup of coffee.
Just long enough to have it on his, on his little banner. And the same way with Randy Orton.
So I mean, Randy Orton at this point could be a transitional champion, and at this point, I don't think he would care if he was a transitional U.S. champion.
He won the belt the last pay-per-view just to set the rematch up. That's pretty much the reason why he won the belt. So if you didn't die down, they could do something with it at Mania.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Let's go on to the WWE title match. We've kind of discussed this. It is Styles defending the title against Shinsuke Nakamura.
AJ Styles. I think AJ Styles retains here, despite what everybody may think or believe. I think this is one of the belts that are staying where they're at. I don't think AJ Styles is going to Raw anytime soon. He is the face of SmackDown, because I would love to see AJ Styles and Seth Rollins for the WWE Championship belt. I would love to see that feud and see that work like that. So that's kind of some stuff I'm hoping for happens this year. But I think AJ Styles keeps the belt here.
I'm saying Nakamura wins it, just for the simple fact, you talk about how big of a star AJ Styles is. That he's been on SmackDown since the initial draft in 2016. It's almost been 2 years. That's why I was talking about Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. They've not been on SmackDown long enough. You need to get AJ off SmackDown and on the A show where he belongs. So I think he's going to be going to Raw in a Superstar Shakeup after WrestleMania. So I don't see him retaining the WWE Championship. I think he's going to lose to Nakamura, and he's going to get shifted to Monday Night Raw. All that would give some more star power. Now, I do think he does need to stay on SmackDown to kind of anchor that show. Unless you're going to give us some more star power that's going to make SmackDown really stay at the level that it is, or even raised up even more, then you need to trade AJ to Raw, and you need to get the WWE title off of him. Not that I hate AJ as champion. He's been champion long enough. He's been since Survivor Series, so he's had a long enough reign to where I wouldn't be upset if he did drop the belt, because it's like, you look at November, December, January, February, March, April, it's almost a 5-month title reign. That's not anything to sneeze at. Granted, it's not a Okada title reign that's like 500 something days now on the meter, or 600 or something. I'd have to confer with Cornbread. So he's telling me it's 600. Wow. Oh, he says it's 656. I mean, and that's an impressive title reign. But I mean, still, 5 months is not anything to sneeze at. So I mean, definitely, I think Nakamura's going to win the title. I mean, why let him win the Rumble if he wasn't? Okay. And the match that's not announced to kind of close us out, John Cena and The Undertaker, and this takes us back to the debate topic, and I think we've kind of predicted this maybe a little bit, but Taker or Cena, who you got, Godfather?
It's got to be The Undertaker, man. Why? Because The Undertaker stands to lose more if he loses right here to John Cena than John Cena does losing to The Undertaker. Because if you let him get this win, he can always go away for a couple years, and if he comes back, you're going to be excited to see him with the mystique because his last match wasn't a defeat. If he takes back-to-back losses, he's done. His legacy at WrestleMania is done. It's forgotten. He's finished. If he loses against John Cena, he might as well get his own self up and put his own self in the coffin and be done with his career because it's over for him.
Well, with this being rumored that it is Undertaker's last match, it's an old expression in wrestling, you always go out on your back. If this is going to be Undertaker's last match, truly his last match, then he does need to lose to Cena. Now, from a story's perspective, Cena losing, he's been losing a lot. That could help drive the narrative of Cena, him going away and having to refocus. I mean, I can definitely say Cena possibly lose.
John Cena gains nothing by beating The Undertaker at WrestleMania right now. He gains nothing. He's leaving anyways. He does not gain anything from this win.
Well, I mean, he won't have the momentum, but beating The Undertaker at WrestleMania still
not after The Undertaker's
something. He's lost twice, so it's not as impactful.
Exactly.
But
if
it's still
loses,
impactful.
it buries him. If Undertaker loses here, it buries The Undertaker. And everything that he done before that streak, it doesn't mean anything. If he loses 3 matches and they're back-to-back losses, The Undertaker is dead. Literally, he's done. You'll never be able to bring him back for anything. You killed the character with that. You can't do that.
So not even for a Hall of Fame possibility next year?
You cannot. The Undertaker cannot lose back-to-back matches. It cannot happen. Okay? This has been your best character you ever created. Do not kill it just for John Cena won another match crap with me, okay? Don't kill this character dead. Roman Reigns looks great right now because beating Undertaker. Brock Lesnar looks invincible because he beat The Undertaker.
Mm-hmm.
John Cena will just look like John Cena. The fact is he beat The Undertaker. That's it. He does not gain nothing. Undertaker loses everything if he loses this match.
Okay, so we're saying Taker wins this.
Taker wins.
Okay, so we've covered the SmackDown side. You wanted to do a few tidbits of Raw before we close out this podcast?
I'm going to touch on a couple matches, and that's it, okay? The Ronda Rousey, Kurt Angle, Triple H match. I'm only excited about the fact of Kurt Angle getting back in the ring again for maybe a little bit more than just a tag match like he was in his last couple times, okay? I'm not really excited by the fact that it's Triple H because of the fact that Triple H just needs to go away as far as an in-ring performer, in my opinion. He needs to kind of go back into that Vince McMahon role and stay out of the ring so much. I'm looking forward to Ronda Rousey, not her opponent being Stephanie McMahon. I think it's weak. I'm excited to see what she's got, see if she can hang, and we'll go from there. The other match is Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. He's got to kick out of the F5, okay? It's going to make him look badass. It is. He needs to kick out of multiple F5s, and he needs to turn heel and join Paul Heyman and take that red belt, and that's what needs to happen, and that's best for business. That's all I got to say about Raw.
Okay.
And I'll leave the rest for your last show.
Okay, yeah, definitely. So thank you. That's all the time we have for the show. Thank you once again, Godfather, for coming on this very special, kind of WrestleMania edition of the podcast. Can we find you anywhere on social media, or you got any parting words you got for us?
Godfather comes when he comes. He's here when he's here, and he's gone when he's gone.
Okay. But you can follow me on social media. Facebook is facebook.com/Robert Red Jr. Twitter at Robert Red Jr. Instagram.com/Robert Red Jr., where you can find me in a picture of the Godfather. Also, Juicer Tales has a picture where we're doing the Shield gimmick. So definitely check out my Instagram. YouTube, it's youtube.com/user/the Robert Red. You need to check it out because all week I've got great videos that we're discussing other WrestleMania style topics. So definitely tune in and subscribe and like the video and share it. All week I've got some great stuff. I'm on there the next few days with the Two Mark crew, then the TNT podcast. I'm joining those ladies, and we're going to be closing out the week, so definitely you want to check it out. And also, if you listen to our show on iTunes or Stitcher, please give us a review along with your comments about the show on social media. You also can financially support this podcast on Patreon at patreon.com/PPWP, where you can get all sorts of wonderful perks. But we would like to thank you guys for checking out the show today, and you can catch us next time on the Power of Pro Wrestling podcast.